Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We last left off on what I imagine is a pretty pivotal moment in the case. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back. Let's see, let me just double check. Yeah, we were trying to figure out how it got in the victim's back. Realistically, I think it has to be this book. This book, The Lion's Pride.
Take that!
Like I said, I mentioned it before in the last episode, but I kind of predicted this happening kind of a while back, I think. But I guess we're finally getting to it. Anyway, let's get into it. The fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. Ooh. Oh, I like that. I don't know if I've heard that before. Or, yeah, definitely, if it has, it's only been like once or twice. It's good. It's got some kick to it. The burnt book. Is that not Mr. Gardner's book? Yes. And to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all now know, it was a police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so. As part of his wholesale transporting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beach made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. Yeah, he said that he was just copying the scene as he had seen it. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I'd like to say so. As I'm being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By jingo. I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now. Oh, dear me. We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Garrett household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her. The book I threw. Yes, Mrs. Garrideb. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? I'd probably pick it up, you know. Especially if it was, like, on fire, or had been recently on fire. No, if it was on fire, I wouldn't pick it up. But, either way, it would catch my eye. Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up. Yes, yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh heavens! And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, What position would her back have been in? That's right! Facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, Amogus. The imposter came in and stabbed her in the back. The next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at that same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green, was a defendant, Mr. Soseki-Natsume. What I never! It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. Wait, what did though? I mean, if I was like following someone, like unless I was just like reading a book or whatever, and I was like totally lost in my own thoughts, like I feel like you would see a knife, wouldn't you? I feel like you would. You probably would have seen the knife falling from the sky, or from the house, I guess. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on him from above. I mean, I guess. Oh! And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So yeah, I guess if Soseki didn't see the knife, I guess they wouldn't have seen it falling down either. Even though they said the fog was light, but okay. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. Damn, I've been considered about most of the fucking, a lot of the, well, not most, but a lot of happenings in Ace Attorney could be described as such. And that is the real truth behind this case. Gah, ba, 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 boo. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb? Oh, the very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that. Ah, there, old bean. Poor Mrs. Garadeb. Huh, of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but... Oh, it was all my fault, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, kinda. I feel like, you shouldn't probably throw things at your husband, especially knives and bricks and other things, because, weird shit like this can happen, you know? I mean, in general, don't throw violently don't throw things at your... Well, okay, really. A good moral, don't throw shit at anyone, like, ever, unless you're a football player and you're throwing the ball to your wide receiver, or, you know, you're passing a basketball to your, you know, your teammate. But in general, just don't throw shit at people, you know? All this could have been avoided if, you didn't get so irrationally angry at your husband for something he didn't even do. Just saying, pal. I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book. But I threw the knife as well. Oh, John, dear. It's alright. I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry! Oh. Oh. I see. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's, haha. Hee hee. Ho ho. Very funny, guys. I see what you did there. Also, anyway, no comment. Road Renzikes. What news of Mrs. Gardem? She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events had left her in a especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. But yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could have easily been a terrible tragedy. I mean, I don't know, it's still pretty shitty. Oh, well, I mean, still pretty bad, you know, putting someone in a coma, you know. But they try to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. Well, I mean, Mr. Garrett didn't do anything. He was just fucking, you know, fighting for his life in there, man. There is some good news, however, my lord. I have just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. Oh, hey, that's sick. It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her. How wonderful. The woman is out of danger, it seems. I mean, yeah, no one died, you know, we can say that much. Yes, that is good news. Mr. Soseki-Natsume. Oh, hi, man. How's it been? You doing good? Yes. On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our Greek British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. Well, hey, that's nice at least. I bet you're not going to apologize for shit, are you, Van Zeeks? No, it is me who should be begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the old woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again, in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead. Yes, Constable Beats said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. I mean, yeah, she did look pretty fucking dead. Yeah, it's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him. Yes, poor man. So what had happened? I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and ran away. I should have called for help! For a doctor! For the police! Or something, you know? Oh well. I mean, hey. It's a scary situation, right? I can relate, pal. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry. One could indeed that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. You were befooled by the spirit, and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zykes, and our young lawyer here from the east, bro, Lord Van Zykes didn't do shit. He fucking opposed us every step of the way. That chain has now been broken, and the spirit exorcised. I heartily recommend you both. Oh, thanks, pal. You don't deserve credit for a goddamn thing, man. All you did was make us look bad. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. And imagine if they were just like, you know what, fuck it, I hate the Japanese man, he's guilty. And they just all voted unanimously guilty, and then he died. That would be an unfortunate ending. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Oh, okay, I guess you're filling in for Mrs. Garradeb. Yeah, sitting in for the old bean while she's out of action, you know? But I know what her decision would be. Yeah, does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. I see. I'll have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Yeah, very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I hereby demand your final decisions. Guilty. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yeah, that's how we fucking do it. Get fucked. Guiltiness. Very well. Mr. Soseki-Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty. Yeah, that's how we do it. Got the confetti, and we got fucking fireworks. Yeah, boy. Also, again, fire hazard in a closed environment. Doesn't seem like a wise decision, but it was the 1890s or whatever. These people didn't fucking know their ass from a hole in the ground. And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord Sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. Aw, it's okay, pal. You don't got don't worry, man. We good. Oh, yes, of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears! Okay, well, at least you're happy now. Thank you, counsel. Court is adjourned. Alright. We got a not guilty verdict this time. I mean, we got it last time too, but, you know. It's a bit more, what's the word? Obvious? Clear? Clear conscious? Point is, we got a not guilty verdict, and there's no weird shit surrounding it this time, unlike the last case. So that's cool. Even though TBH, if I were in Minos shoes, I would have taken the W and the fucking, you know, and been happy, right? Because, you know, a win's a win. Oh, locum! Wait. You mean me? Of course! Is there another locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Esquire, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, at last, I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilation! Heady, hearty, happiness, hurrah! Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard to say that, then? Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brink! Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault, after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that! Lovely, loyal, locum, lawyer! Yes? I mean, as I said before, I've just never gotten used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down at me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback. Oh, dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you, locum lawyer, you gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm beyond that baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the billy spruce, I bellowed, "Behold the best barrister ever born!" That's very flattering, and, we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. And, an anecdote? Is that what becomes of all my hard work? There you are, my dear fellows. Oh, hey, it's you. Long time no see. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I, rose late this morning. Oh, Miss Sholmes! What a pleasure to see you. I see, I am not here. I am here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. Oh. The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck.
Sholmes, I hate to inform you, but it's just finished.
Oh, what? No. Then my haste was in vain. It's you, Hairlock Sholmes. Oh, have we met, sir? It's Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes. I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom. Either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming, I'm sure. This is all your fault, Hairlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Ah. Had she been taken to hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human, after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Priceless, oh. I am really sorry, but that was quite priceless. Poor Soseki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume? Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits, and now by the Reaper. Lord Van Zykes. I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed. It'll be all right. It'll all be all right, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya! With a perfectly executed Susato takedown. Thanks for thanks for testing it out on me, or demonstrating on me. Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of warning might be nice next time, Mrs. Otto. Jeez. Bleh. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about, recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan. Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh. It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the world of literature here, and the city it has shaped. And I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. That's very touching, Mr. Natsume. Or, I mean, perhaps those fatal terms. You wish to withdraw halfway around the world and to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse. Oh, come on, man. You didn't have to put it so bluntly. That's not it at all! The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see. A work of literature by Soseki-san. It could be an interesting read. And what about Mr. Sato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry, what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustached compatriot? Why would we? A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we have finally found our feet. And, you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? That's right. But we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated that we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you could take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for with a floor, a ceiling, and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit. Oh my, an evil spirit? Oh yes, it tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call. We'll, think about it, if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Really? Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself, though it is up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris has cleaned the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of. Oh, this is simply wonderful! What an honor to be invited to taking lodgings in the great detective's office, his attic. I'm too overcome for words. So, suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you. And yes. Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Hey, it's a happy time, man. We gotta take our happiness when we can get it. Locum. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you, too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong to Japan. Oh, but Locum, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Ah, well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have little doubt that Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so, with Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B of Baker Street. Well, isn't that nice? Hey, it's like Persona 5. We're in the attic of someone else. I mean, it's really not that bad. So this is to be our new office. Yes, our office. I rather like the sound of that. Me too. Oh, it's simply wonderful, isn't it? I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step, but I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Oh, hey, nice change of clothes. Ah, Mr. Sholmes. Yes, thank you so much. Oh, it's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Yeah, good. I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. Oh, I forgot your voice. I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. Well, alright then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Oh, splendid. Salads rule. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? Oh, it's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Those are precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry. London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights casts the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Gee, you're getting kind of serious, aren't you, pal? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So once again, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London. Okay, well, that was slightly ominous. Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. Alright, that's another case down, my boys. Ladies and gentlemen. Huh. Okay, well, hey, that was... Okay, that's longer than I was expecting, but also... I mean, it's a relatively short... Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I was right about the fact that, we were basically near the end, but... Hey, we still got a decently lengthy episode out of it, I suppose. Okay, so that was case 4, or episode 4, I guess. It was pretty solid. I liked most of the characters involved. The whole fact that, you know, no one actually died, and it was essentially just a series of unfortunate events. That was definitely an interesting twist on the typical formula. Though, like, as far as being a satisfying culprit to take down, I mean, not sure if Joan Garrideb is gonna, like, be super memorable in the pantheon of Ace Attorney villains, you know. But regardless, and again, I feel like well, I don't know. It didn't feel like super long. Like pacing wise, it was okay, but like, I don't know.
it is a bit weird, huh? But anyway, it's still a good case. So far, yeah. I've enjoyed everything so far. I mean, this first case was solid. The second episode was, well, weirdly paced, but still good. This one was really good, and this one too. Yeah, so far so good. And I guess as we're going into the last case of the first game, well, I've got high hopes. I'll say that much. So yeah, next episode we will start that case. I keep calling them cases, even though they're technically called episodes, but whatever. Now I'm just rambling. Either way, case good. A little silly at times. Well, not everything's silly, but it's a good case. It relies on some contrivances, I might say. But Soseki-san is a very nice defendant, and most of the characters are solid. Though, it's weird that the main theme of the case was women be crazy. Especially, and also, yeah, don't throw shit at at anyone, unless it's your job to do so. Those were essentially the, seemingly the two main lessons of this episode. But anyway, enough rambling for me. I just want to give a short expression of my impressions on the case. But next episode we will start episode 5 and see what the fuck Sholmes was talking about the murky face of London or whatever. But until then,